Yes. It is our I guess it's sort of a Valentine's Day special today, isn't it?
It is the love and love me nots of the online world. How exciting!
Yeah. Yes. You know what? It's less about me or my opinion on things, but we had such good feedback from everybody on the Facebook group that I just kind of went through that and to discuss it. A big welcome to everybody for Webinar Wednesday. This is Webinar Wednesday number 49. Next one's going to be our 50th webinar.
Wow, we should have like cake and a celebration.
Maybe not. I don't need cake. I'm working too hard to mitigate.
We could have water. We could toast
the
water.
damage cake has done in my life. Yes, I'll have more water. I've got water and coffee. I'm double-handing today. Hey, everybody. Hello, Andre from Victoria and Gord from London. Oh, Canada. London, Ontario. My son's in London, Ontario. So I thought it was London, UK. People get more excited with that. It's like they have to point it out. So today's show is a little bit different. It's not so much about productivity, but we're going to be talking about things that we love and things that we don't love so much. We would say the word hate, but that would be that's not something that we should say on this day. We should say just things we love not.
Right.
Of the online space. And, you know, I went through, I recorded everything last night for the webinar, and then I started writing down new other things I forgot. That bugged me. There are so many things that bug me. Autoplay videos on websites. I forgot to mention that completely. Drive me crazy, especially with the sound up. What the hell are they thinking? We don't want that.
I'm interested to hear the list because, like, I have a whole bunch of things that I definitely don't like.
There we go. It's going to be good today. It's going to be good today. We're going to be looking for lots and lots of feedback. So here's the deal, folks. Those of you who have been with us before, we record this webinar once a week. We do a live webinar. Usually it's a little more educational and tutorial. Today it's going to be kind of just a little bit more fun. But we do it each week. We are using Webinar Jam as our webinar software today, which gives us a nice little chat, which we really enjoy working with. And we send a big hello to you all. If you do have any technical issues, Webinar Jam has been pretty good for us lately. If you have connection problems, if we go to sync or if you lose the video or audio, you hit the reconnect button at the top. If that doesn't work, refresh your browser. And if that doesn't work, go to a different browser. And if that doesn't work, it's just not your day. It's not our day in that case. But worry not, because we'll be sending out a replay tomorrow morning. I'm gonna stop trying to send the replays out the same day. I'm gonna try and send the replays out the next morning. It gives me a little bit of time to kind of just decompress and to properly package them. I didn't tell you that yet, April, but that's the new plan. Is we're going to send the replays out first thing next morning, so they will all be there.
I think that'll be good. It'll be good for you because I know that you stress over that. So I know some of us hate waiting, but
I get busy and I got so much going on, just so much going on right now. So, and a big shout out to all of our patrons. Dottotech is supported through the generosity of you folks on Patreon that support us. There's over 700 of you that contribute to help keeping us on the air monthly, and we appreciate your support ever so much. So, we are going to, today what we're going to do is I'm going to start the video, and so many of you gave us feedback in the Facebook group about what you love and hate. So rather than me just doing a list of my things, I thought it would be like the overall Dottotech community, things we love, things we hate. So as we're going along, April and I will be in the chat, and we'll add new things to the list. Maybe we should have a top 100 crappy things in the online world.
That'd be a great blog post.
That'd be a great blog post. Maybe if Sophia's watching, maybe we can get her. We'll make her watch this afterwards. So that's the plan for the day. That is the plan for the day. Is there anything else?
I have to ask you. It's Valentine's Day. What did you get Shannon?
Nothing.
Did you forget?
No, I didn't forget. I will.
Uh-oh.
You know,
You're speechless.
We just moved houses, and it's so busy. And
a card? You can make a card.
We're trying to live with one car. So, and Farley's got separation anxiety. Here's all my tale of woe. I can't get out of the house by myself. Shannon's got the car all day because she's at work. So I'm like hamstrung.
So you can make a card.
I'm going to make her split pea soup tonight for dinner. How's that?
What about a video?
I'm marrying a woman. I'm marrying the woman in 2 months.
You want to know what I got?
What did you get?
I am going to Billy Joel at Fenway Park this summer.
Billy Joel? Shut the front door. I love Billy Joel.
It'll be a great concert.
I've got a great Billy. Oh, yeah, I can call Amazon. I know they've got a thing called Amazon. Thank you all very much for that. But it's today, isn't it? Amazon won't get here today, will they?
Actually, sometimes they do.
Billy Joel, quick story about Billy Joel. I'm at a Macworld, I think, in San Francisco. Buddy of mine from Adobe calls me and says, come to this hotel tonight for a party. Don't tell anybody you're coming.
Ooh, that sounds shady.
And it's a small little boutique hotel in San Francisco. I go to the hotel, and there's like 150, 200 people in the room, and they're heavy hitters from the tech industry. Like, we're talking senior VPs, like names that you would recognize. There's a piano in the middle of the room. Out watch Billy Joel, and he plays for us for like 2 hours.
Cut it out.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
But well, you know what? As much fun as that was, I just went to see him a while back on my birthday here in Vancouver, and it was phenomenal. I stood right beside him in San Francisco, and it was great. But there's also something about the group thing of just being in a room with 15,000 people all knowing the words to the songs. That's pretty good too. So yeah, you have fun with that. That's going to be good.
Yeah, very exciting.
That's going to be good. Yes. Okay. Well, we should get into this. And while we're into it, I'll look on Amazon and see if I can find anything quick for Shannon. Oh, I know what am I saying? I bought her a new phone today. How romantic is that?
Functionality is necessary sometimes.
I just ordered her an iPhone 8 Plus.
Ooh.
That's my Valentine's present. Thank you. Off the hook, Steve. Took care of that one.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, let's go into it. Let's get the video running. We'll see you on the other side of about 25 minutes with things we love, things we hate. Looking forward to the comments in the chat. We will be back to you live in 25 minutes. Enjoy. All right, for our Valentine's Day special, something a little bit different for this week's Webinar Wednesday, as we are going to go through what do we love and what don't we love in the online space. And instead of this being all my opinion, as normally our shows are, I'm going to defer to you, our community. And I invited you at the beginning of this week to post on Facebook and tell me what you loved and what you didn't love about the online space. And you have done a great job of filling me in on lots of different ideas. And so let's use that as a basis to go through. But I will certainly fill in a lot of the things that I'm that I love and I don't love. And I'm probably more keen right now to criticize than to praise. And it really starts just with this. Let's look at the post that I put forward. We have 11, 12,000 people in our Facebook community. And of course, we've got many, many followers in so many places. But Facebook, despite the fact this was a post that didn't promote anything really other than, it asked you to register for our webinar, but it wasn't an overtly commercial post. They shared this post with 238 people. The reason that you all filled in information and commented was because we invited you to in our newsletter. Despite the fact that hundreds of people came to it and visited it, read it, we had, I don't know how many, 18, 20 comments, just people commenting on it, obviously interested in the topic. Facebook, in all of their wisdom, only shared it with 238 people. Facebook's reduced share, the betrayal of trust that they have foisted upon us, both just regular people and brands and companies that have invested in Facebook, is terrible. It all started in I guess screw me once and shame on you, screw me twice, shame on me. Well, screw me you 35 times, shame on Facebook. It just keeps going. But for me, it all started when they, back how many years ago, when they said, invest in getting people to like your page. Spend money to get people to like your page, become your fans, and so they can see your content. This was the deal, the bargain that we struck with Facebook. And that has come to the point now where it's invest in getting people to like your page, and then invest more money, because the only way they're going to see it is if you pay. And to me, it's completely, I don't know if Facebook can ever make it right. And of course, they've got far bigger problems than just you and I being slightly pissed at them over this stuff. But Facebook has proven, as far as Valentine's Day goes, to constantly disappoint me. Having said that, there's an awful lot good to Facebook too, in the fact that we've leveraged it and used it to grow our community quite well. but I'm pretty sure that any social network at this point, with the opportunity, the way social networking has blossomed, would have given us that opportunity. That's not unique to Facebook. We've also done that in Twitter. Certainly YouTube has been far more relevant for us. So let's start with Love Me Not, which is Facebook's changing rules constantly of how we gain access to our community and how we can share with our community. That's terrible. Laura says, I detest that it's nearly impossible to adequately keep up with social media platforms, which forever seem to change, requiring more learning and less doing. Business with teams to do better at this, but for solo people like me and authors for every minute we work or doing work, half of it seems to wind up dealing with the distraction of the new technology. Diverse opinion and the right way to do things. What do I love? The days when I merely had a profile on Facebook and didn't need to worry about much beyond that. So Laura is waxing poetic about the early days when Facebook was just starting, and she is caught up in the she finds that the cycle of the constant change, relentless change that we deal with wearing. And for solopreneurs, it does wear on you. And the fact that in one of the challenges that anybody in social publishing has, content publishing, is the fear of not participating in a social platform that could be the difference maker. I think it's crucial for all of us to choose one platform and to really honor that platform and work hard on that platform. Certainly, we should use the other platforms, but just choose one platform that you really are committed to, and in some cases, just let it go with other platforms. You can end up chasing your tail so much just trying to keep up on all the changes that you never actually end up doing any work. That's a big challenge. And so, well said, Laura. Happy Valentine's Day, Laura. Darlene, happy Valentine's to you as well. Darlene Goodrick. I love finding out that I'm actually really good at what I do, and she is really good at what she does. I'm able to help a lot of people all over the world. You don't love finding out that what I thought was a business conversation actually ended up being a poor attempt at starting a romantic relationship. Now, I don't know which side of the romantic relationship you were on, Laura, but that sounds awkward. And that's the challenge of social. Texting this world is we often lose nuance in our conversation. Now, often it ends up being that, for me, it always ends up being that I make a joke and people don't see it as a joke. I don't think I've ever made a pass and people not see it as a pass, but that's a good Valentine's Day message, isn't it, Darlene? So happy Valentine's to you. Kevin Donnell, my good buddy Kevin Donnell from Toronto, Ontario, says, same as others, love the ability to learn so much, amber light on what it takes to just keep up on the systems and the ever-changing rules to use them. Old days, you could go for a long time knowing how it worked, and today it's more like 5 months. That's so true. Our run where we're on top and not learning is getting shorter and shorter, which makes me really nervous that all my content is in one of those systems. Evernote, for example, I dislike the drive that gets dumped on my Facebook. He's commented that he's concerned that all of his content is in one system, Evernote. Good point. Dislikes the drivel that gets dumped in my Facebook feed. I just want to do a fast check with friends, and it's become a weird place now. I guess the only other comment, and won't really make much sense, is I'm a super curious person, and now there is so much choice for good content. I feel like I'm missing out instead of being excited. In the library, I felt like it was all there forever. In the digital world, it feels like it's passing me by. That's some more a comment on me and how I have to change. Funny statement as I read it because I'm pretty savvy with tech and love it. Yeah, Kevin is one of my buddies from the early days of tech here in Canada. Spent time with Adobe and Autodesk and many other fine companies. Some really good comments there. The constant learning and mastering something that works, and then because of things like Facebook changing the rules, all of a sudden what you learned and how to do might not be relevant anymore, and you've got to learn a new technique or a new way of doing things. And whereas in the past you would get a good long run. My TV show is a great example. For 15 years, I had a business model that worked and I could make money with and I could rely on. Now, we morphed it slightly, but it was essentially the same model in 1995 as it was in 2010 when we stopped doing the TV show. My business model since I've been in the online space has changed multiple times. And just when you think you've got it figured out, it changes and you've got to kind of figure it out again. That's exciting and it keeps us young on one side, but it's also really frustrating on the other side. The drivel in Facebook, not going to be able to get away from that, are we? So happy Valentine's, Kev. Mary Collins, love all things Autotech. Well, happy Valentine's to you as well. She likes Dashlane, Evernote, Xero, Google Calendar, Dropbox, LinkedIn, Facebook, Day One Journal, Michael Hyatt. I'm a big fan of Michael Hyatt as well. Peter Thompson. Always grateful for great info from Steve, Michael, and Peter. Not so much. Facebook Messenger is being used as a marketing tool. Yeah, it doesn't feel right, does it? It's the same as LinkedIn when you're getting messages that you're being marketed to in LinkedIn. Random weirdos wanting to friend on Facebook with insane chat. I'm here for my Facebook friends and my tribes. Don't you wish Facebook would get the handle on that? Especially now, I don't know if it happens to women, for guys, certainly guys of my vintage, all these 19-year-old girls in bikinis trying to be my friend. Really? You want to be my friend? I don't think so. It's just frustrating. Rob Zilstra, says, one word, missive, a great Canadian company, great collaborative email product. I'm going to have to take a look at that, Rob. Thanks for that. And a happy Valentine's to you. Oh, look at this. I can't believe I missed Julie Selby. And did I say happy Valentine's to Mary? Julie Selby from Vancouver Island, a very talented social media goddess. I love the power to connect with anyone, everywhere in the world for our business. I don't love spammers, growth hackers, cheaters, bots, or over-automation. Yes, indeed. Julie is bang on with all of that. All the things and the connections, friendships that you make all over the world. Julie takes a group of women. I think you do it almost every year, don't you, Julie? To India. They do these phenomenal trips. Maybe it's not always to India, but they do these adventure trips. And I'm sure that's through social media that she stays in touch with friends that she's made on that over the years. So that's awesome sauce. So happy Valentine's to you. Steve Whitley, how you doing, Steve? Love the fact that you can basically get a YouTube video help for almost any type of tech or otherwise. Questions that you may have, how-tos, and greatly cut down the often tedious learning curve, and generally it makes the experience much more enjoyable. Well, stock and trade for me, right, Steve? But that is, just think about what the world was like. How did you ever figure out how to change the light bulb in your car before YouTube? I guess you could use a manual, but that seems rather excessive, doesn't it? YouTube does have everything that you need to figure out is on YouTube, and that's, to me, that's one of the great joys. The YouTube and the fact that it's become such an effective search engine, so it knows what you're looking for, and YouTube concentrates on delivering value in those videos. That is a breath of fresh air, and it is one of the best things about living today is that we have it. Plus that when we add the feature of mobility in video, high bandwidth mobility and Wi-Fi, so that you can have your phone right out there in the car while you're working on it, right beside you when you're cooking. Today I made blackened chicken for the family for dinner, but I've never done that before, and I didn't know what spices to mix up for blackening spice because I didn't have a store-bought one. So there I am with my phone, just measuring out the spices. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was through the power of search and YouTube, that sort of stuff. Awesome. Jim Tabajinsky, my apologies if I butchered your name, Jim, but a happy Valentine's Day to you. Love that you get the answer to almost anything instantly. Yeah. Our patience must, we used to have to mail away for things or phone people and ask for information and ask them to mail information to us. At conferences, we used to carry on big bags where we'd carry brochures. We'd go back and we'd read the brochures and pore over them. That's all yesterday's news. We get information so much more quickly and effectively. It saves us a lot of time, but we probably end up wasting a lot of that time just by browsing through useless stuff as well. But I digress. Back to Jim. Love Evernote Web Clipper. It is probably my single favorite tool as well. Love that I can share and move files around effortlessly. Love that I don't have to worry about my information when it's stored in the cloud, that I can retrieve it when I need it, such as when I had to restore all my files due to a catastrophic system glitch. Indeed. Love that I can pay my bills online and a lot more. So Jim, he's a glasses half full kind of guy. I like Jim. Thank you very much, and a happy Valentine's to you, sir. All good loves. Marge Noro Brown. Love clever creative content that delivers a message, especially this content when its purpose is to involve and engage and promote. Yep, that's right. I love promotional content when it's done well. It is. It's a breath of fresh air. Brands that you like, there's nothing wrong with liking a company or liking how a business does business with you. It's when you feel you're being manipulated that we have issues, is it not? On the flip side, I don't like lazy, sloppy, unimaginative content that is solely meant to sell. Exactly, I could not have said it better, Marge. And a happy Valentine's to you. Renata Hale says, I don't love the bad grammar and spelling. Oh, Renata, you are in the wrong community for that. Also, does everything have to be a video? Renata, what are you posting on our wall for? I am a reader by nature, and sometimes it's nice to not have to wade through a video to get the details I'm looking for. I get you. And I hear you. But you know what? It's for some people who aren't good writers, don't have good grammar or punctuation, video is a great equalizer for us. It means that we can provide value content too. But I certainly respect, and I do understand that the instant publishing opportunities that the online world gives us means that a lot more poorly constructed sentences, poorly constructed writing gets out into the wild. And for people who are sensitive to poor grammar, spelling, and punctuation, it must be a really frustrating time for them. Despite your lack of love for video, Renata, I wish you that you, sorry, I wish you a happy Valentine's Day. Linda Gulo says, I love all the relationships I've made from my location in the Midwest around the U.S. places like Canada, Wales, Singapore, and around the world. It makes us more understanding and aware of teamwork. It does. And, you know, I look at my team in England, in the UK, in the Eastern Seaboard, in Dallas. It's phenomenal having a team around the world and friends around the world. The world has become a much smaller place with it. And once you meet the people face to face, the internet does, you know, messenger, chat, those sorts of things, and all of the video conferencing does a great job of shrinking that distance and you staying really intimately involved in others' lives. It's phenomenal from that point of view. One of the best things. Andre Legris. Andre Legris. Oh, sorry, Linda. Happy Valentine's. One of the things I hate is the way Microsoft treats the OneNote program. Well said, Andre. OneNote is one of Microsoft's best products, and yet it's almost an afterthought. I spent considerable time comparing OneNote to Evernote and decided on OneNote because I prefer the organizational structure. Now I have hundreds of pages of notes in OneNote that came along with Windows 10, and for some reason, that past understanding, there are now 4 different ways of accessing OneNote. Oh, good heavens. Well, I'm not going to go through your entire note because it is long, and if you want to have a conversation at some point about moving to Evernote and what the benefits are, you can certainly go through some of our content on Evernote. But that is passing curious, how Microsoft has made OneNote kind of an afterthought when it is a absolutely brilliant program, and it is the equal of Evernote in all ways as far as I'm concerned. And if you live in the Microsoft ecosphere, I definitely encourage you to look at OneNote. Andre, happy Valentine's. I hope you solve it. And that you rekindle your romance with Microsoft. Angus Knowles, love how I can find out how to do almost anything online. I don't love how reputable sites use clickbait articles to bulk up their pages and articles. Why do they do that? It is a source of income for them, but I hate that as well. As a matter of fact, you know, the clickbaity articles. Let me just run a little video here and show you. Here's an example. These guys, this Rumble video, all they do is clickbait, and it's for video content creators, sort of like me, and people. You see all of these sorts of little, you know, click on this in order to see this amazing video. And seldom is it really an amazing video, but it does drive the ad sales, and it does drive you, and it's the quintessential clickbait. Fortunately, you can stop when people do post videos like that, which are that clickbaity. You can ask Facebook not to show you that type of advertising anymore. And indeed, you can actually decide, no, don't even show me anything that comes from that site anymore. And the more that we do that, the more that we shut down those sites and say, you're not welcome in my feed, the less money they're going to make and the less likely they're going to be to try to continue doing clickbaity things. So that is that's a great comment, Angus, and I thank you for it. And happy Valentine's. Judy Mertz, love not that I can't always get the big picture behind how technology works
and therefore miss some of the opportunities. Do love that I can connect with so many informative resources. Judy, great point. And we are as guilty of that as anyone. When we do tutorials on different products, we hit the highlights because we don't have time to teach the baseline stuff because there just isn't the opportunity. And frankly, most people don't have the patience to go through the baseline stuff, so they do look for the highlights. But I do think that we don't do a comprehensive job. Not just us as content creators when we're talking about different content, different products, but the software manufacturers themselves. Is anybody less attention to detail than Google? Have they ever finished a piece of software to completion where it's actually rock solid and ready to go? Have they ever given us proper training and tutorials, or have they always left us on our own to figure things out for ourselves? Now, for somebody like me, that's job security, because since Google doesn't do a good job of explaining how the tools work, it gives us an opportunity. But damn it, when I want to use a tool and I can't figure things out, things like Google Play Music, all of the different ways to use it, I'm finding it really frustrating right now, and Google gives us precious little in the way of support. So I'm with you there, Judy, and happy Valentine's to you. Jim, I think I did. Oh, no. Did I do one, Jim? I think I did one from Jim earlier. Yeah, I did. Jim posted a second time. We're going to let you have a double dip. Hate it when devices and software don't work as advertised. Hate it when tech companies overpromise and underdeliver. Wait a minute. Wasn't Jim all bouquets? Yes, he did a whole post of what he loved. And I said he's a glass half full kind of guy. Now, a little farther down the feed, Jim's a glass half empty kind of guy. When devices and software don't work, he hates tech companies overpromise and underdeliver. So-called customer support that does little more than offer me an opportunity to search their FAQs. If there's not a phone number to call, if there's not a way to contact customer support, I am so with you on that. I think he has more hates. Oh, he does. Hate the condescending attitude by many, but not all people in tech support, although some customer service support is very good. Constant Contact, Norton. He said that they were good. Okay. Hate that other companies, customer service and or tech support is nothing more than a slogan. Yep. Hate most, but not all tech instructors and or user guides and manuals. It's not talking about us. Pretty sure. Hate when companies automatically install updates and forget to notify me, and that's just for starters. Whew. Jim, I like glasses half empty, Jim, as much as I like glasses half full, Jim. They're both really good, and bang on with all of those things. And the companies that don't do proper tech support and don't properly support, and then just force you into their FAQs, especially when you're a knowledgeable user, and they go through all the FAQs and they make their email contact and they make their true connection very difficult to find a path to get to real support. That's just bad business. That's just bad business, and it's worth not sending them a Valentine for. Absolutely. Bridget Hobrick, Igley, Facebook changing the rules drives me nuts. How do we learn how to work that? Help! Thank you, Bridget. Wish I knew. Happy Valentine's Day. Wish I knew. You know what? We try and build our communities in places other than Facebook, and we just use Facebook where it works for us, not where it works for them. Ed hates tracking devices that have to be replaced every year instead of replacing only the battery. Yeah, not upgradable, not repairable tech devices. Great point, Ed. Happy Valentine's Day to you, sir. Paul Murray. Love the availability of good information online, YouTube, Udemy, webinars, fewer airports, and with online meeting software. Oh, yes. Think Appear.in. Great package. Collaboration with programs like Slack and Asana and a multitude of CRMs. Not so much things that he doesn't like. People thinking the access they have via the internet gives them permission to do stuff they would not do in a face-to-face situation. Paul, I am so on board with you as far as that goes. You, first of all of the tools that you love and the fact that we get work done and we can work face-to-face at a distance without having to fly and travel, I appreciate that as well. There is something nice about seeing people, going to conferences, that kind of stuff, and being able to see people on a regular basis. But it's great that we don't have to do it all the time, and the lack of courtesy that comes. You see it if you just go through our YouTube feed. You'll see dozens and dozens of comments. I pull them out and I make fun of a lot of them, but people being totally insulting. Yeah, it doesn't bother me all that much, but I've been around the block. If I was just starting out, or if I was a little bit insecure, it could be really hurtful. And some of the things they say are really mean. But that's the nature of the veil of privacy that they have. So they think that they can do whatever they want. I just basically put it down to they must be unhappy people. Yes. And happy Valentine's to you, Paul. Christopher, not necessarily an online problem, but people jumping to conclusions and judging. Yeah, we tend to jump to a conclusion with very little information, and certainly with the way the news is coming down, broken down, partisan on one side or the other, is we are not getting the whole story very much anymore. And I wonder if we ever did. I wonder if we ever did get the whole story, but the trust of news, the trust of information, what do they call it? They call us now being in the post-truth era, where we don't know what the truth is anymore, and that's not for Valentine's Day, because that's scary stuff. That's stuff that really we have to worry about what the future of our society looks like as a result of this if we don't get a handle on it. But sobering thoughts there, Christopher. Happy Valentines. And Buzz says, one word, ActiveWords. ActiveWords.com, very similar to Text Expander, which I use, a great tool as well. So, what a great start. Things you love, things that you don't love. And I think that if we jump into the Q&A now, that we'll probably find a ton more things you love and things you don't love in the online world. Yeah, you do. You enjoy the writing back to people. That's okay. We are back. April and I were just talking offline about, we were saying, nobody mentioned LinkedIn and all of the people reaching out, kind of poaching and
scraping emails.
Scraping emails and reaching out to you in LinkedIn. Whereas I just ignore the people or possibly report them to LinkedIn. April writes each individual back and chastises them.
In a nice way. I have a, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, well, that was good. I enjoyed all of the comments. I enjoyed the discussion of typos. Google returning snakes and snacks instead of snakes. It's not very useful, but I guess it does happen. Yeah, thanks for all the comments and the input. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get in and talk about some of the comments and answer your questions, and we'll kind of just riff a little bit more about the whole what we like and what we hate. But before we do, I do have some business. I want to fill you in on what's coming up next week. And also, a lot of people mentioned the Evernote as one of their favorite things, which is, as you know, one of my favorite things. And I'm going to get April to drop in right now in the chat. We've got a webinar coming up, a special webinar on Saturday. We're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about the Evernote habit, which is turning Evernote into a habit. And this is really a webinar that's especially designed for people who dabbled with Evernote, looked at it, and it never really caught on. They can see the value, but they don't know how it fits in their lives. So I'm going to talk about making Evernote work for you. So it's going to be a lot about turning Evernote, what I call it, establishing the Evernote habit, making Evernote central to everything that you do. So that's it's called the Evernote habit. By the way, is my audio good now? I'm just going to have a listen here.
I think it sounds okay.
It does. Yeah, we're getting some clacking from your keyboard. Okay. Oh, I didn't mute myself. There we go. Okay. So let's. I'm going to fill you in on what's coming up next week, and got a little slideshow to go right here. Come on. Where is it? There it is. Got it loaded. Okay. Couple things. First of all, next week, it's webinar 49. I was wrong. I thought it was webinar 50. Next week, Facebook groups for communities. We're getting a lot of experience, especially from our last course, in how Facebook is working for us as far as building communities and supporting different online ventures. So we're going to be talking about using Facebook as a tool. Facebook's getting a lot of bad press these days, justifiably so. Sorry, April, I'm going to get you to mute your mic because I'm getting a lot of clacking from where your mic is. It's okay. There we go. Next week, Facebook's getting a lot of bad press, as they've deserved, with a lot of things that are going on. But it's still a really incredible meeting place. So even though there's a lot of negatives, and we certainly complained about them a lot today, there's still a lot of positives in how we can end up using them for our own community support, community growth, in either business or social aspects. So we're going to talk about techniques and ways that you can use Facebook groups for communities, for building your own community. So that's coming up next week. So you'll be getting an email to register for that. So we hope that you can join us next week for that. The replay of this webinar will be coming out tomorrow morning, including any resources. We don't really have any resources from this one, but we will have it. Now, the replay is going to be up on YouTube. And a tip for those of you who are new to us, if you want to, I encourage you to play back the replay at double speed. That way it takes you half an hour to watch the whole webinar, and you still get all of the content. Now, the way that we work here on Dottotech is we give the replay for free. All our webinars are free, and the replay is free for 48 hours. We leave it up online, free. It's available for 48 hours. And then after that, we pull it down and we put it into the archives for the benefit of our patrons. So our patrons who support us at Patreon get access to all of our webinars. This will be the 48th webinar in the family of webinars in the webinar archive. And so they've got all permanent access to all the content that we create. Because the bottom line is, our patrons, our supporters on Patreon, make this weekly webinar series and actually all of the content we create on Dottotech possible, because they contribute a small amount of money to us each month that we use to keep ourselves going. And in return, they get access to all sorts of great perks. And so what we ask for, if you are interested, is about $10 a month. Is $10 a month. And for that, the perks that you get each and every week are access to all of our webinar replays, of course, but also discounts on all of our main courses. So for our mini courses, you pay $9.95 instead of $40. But for our premium courses, our patrons pay half price, $250 versus $500. And we have a webinar course coming up. We're going to be doing Winning at Webinars next month, where we're going to be teaching people how to use webinars at the heart and the base of their business. And so our patrons will get those courses for half price, which is a phenomenal deal. And Evernote Made Easy, our patrons also get for half price. So instead of $149, it's $75. So that's our way of saying thanks to you. And your way of saying thanks to us is by giving us $10 every month. And of course, they also get access to all of the webinar archives, which is turning into a pretty rich resource now. This will be the 48th webinar that goes in. So we do everything from training on social media to productivity. And every week we do a new training and tutorial webinar, so that the value of the webinar archives just keeps on growing. So a big hug and thanks to all of you, and a special Valentine to all of our patrons. We appreciate you ever so much. So that's it. As I said, next week we're going to be talking about Facebook. So we're going to talk about Facebook communities, using Facebook groups for communities. Sorry, April, you can come back in now. I didn't mean to chastise you too much for being noisy. I think she's completely left. She's just sulking now. All right. Oh, you are back.
I'm not sulking. I love the chat still going about the love and the hates.
So I didn't see it. Oh, Mark, yes. Welcome to all our new patrons. Mark, Cynthia, thank you. The best $10 invest each month. I appreciate that. Oh, good. All right. Inga. Oh, look at Ingo's. What a great point. Hate business cards. He just threw away 3,500. I very seldom carry around a business card anymore. Do you carry one around, April?
I do actually, for on-site meetings and some networking, but I use the Scannable app, so yes. Then it scans into my CRM, so then I don't hold on to it, because they do stack up.
You know what? I don't think that we're getting the audio from your headset. I think we're getting it from your general mic, and that's why we're getting a lot of background noise from you. Okay. Make sure that. Yeah, I don't know if you can check that or not, but that's what I think might be happening. All right, I see. Let's go through. So, there was a question about the Evernote replay, the Evernote webinar next week. There will be a replay. So if you register for that webinar, there will be a replay that will be sent out from it. We always do that. I don't like playing. You know what? Speaking of things that you hate, I hate being manipulated in webinars and that sort of stuff. And those of you who know me know that one of the things that I hate the most are fake webinars where they say that they're live and they're actually pre-recorded and you're being manipulated. But the other thing that I hate is people manipulating you to say you have to be live in my webinar in order to participate, which they say, I want your commitment, which is all fine. But we all have lives and we all live in different time zones. I mean, I'm in the West Coast here. We've got people joining us from Paris. We've got people from all over. And so some people, it's just not appropriate. It's just not appealing to take a webinar in live when it's not in an appropriate time zone for them. So making it available for at least a reasonable amount of time. That's why we fixed on 48 hours for all of our replays. It makes it available. But when I feel like somebody's manipulating me, and because somebody says this is a way to close sales, this is a way to do it, that just my hackles rise. And almost everything that we do, almost every marketing technique that we take on, we always take on that ick factor. We always say, does it feel right for us? Because if I feel wrong as a participant, as a watcher of those webinars or of those services, as soon as I start feeling myself being manipulated, I pull away, and I don't want our community pulling away from me. So that's from us. So April knows I'm always pushing back. We should try this. No, we can't do that because I don't like it.
Well, and you know what? I feel like that's something, a lack of marketing skill in some way. Like, it's just lacking. I feel like I think some people knowingly do it, but then I think there's people that actually don't understand the business process piece, that they haven't figured it all out. So they're, You know what I think it could be? It was a comment earlier that they talked about in the things that they hate, is that people are very, very likely to be far more cruel, far more critical online with their comments and posts, because they feel this distance, they feel this safety. And I wonder if that's not another facet of the same issue, where if we don't actually talk to our customers face to face, meet them, press the flesh, see them, we're only dealing in a digital world where, right, typically speaking, we don't actually get to have a physical or a personal relationship with our customers. We start treating them like it's almost a gamification. You're just trying to get the sale. The number means everything, and not the connection. And it really is about client retention in your business, right? Yeah. Because those are your referral partners. So you want to keep them instead of always funneling through them and pissing them off.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't want to do refunds. You also don't want people bad mouthing you and all those sorts of things. So you want, but if you haven't, a lot of people that are in the online business space have never been in the old physical business space. I used to sell computers and desktop publishing systems. I used to have to go into offices, look at what's going on, meet the people, meet the purchaser, ask for the deal, ask for the sale. And so that was a part, that's still, every sale that happens, I try and bring that, the weight of responsibility of our connection to that. And too many people don't. And so I feel that happens when we're being manipulated.
Which I think leads into what Judy said. You see a lot online, the 6-figure income, like these sales pitches of like, oh, you're going to make $1 million and your Facebook ads are going to reach this many people. And the reality is it's a scam. It feels scammy to me anyway.
Yeah, both Judy and ENSC is posting about it too. And I hate those terms. Though you are so right, because here's another thing that happens is people end up feeling like failures because they launch a product. And they have if they weren't comparing themselves to X big social media guy or woman, they would probably be very happy with what they've done. My first online digital sales, first course I sold, I think we sold $4,000 worth of product. Now that is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money by what, I'm not going to make 7 digits or 6 digits by selling $4,000 worth of software with the amount of work that I had, or of course with the amount of work that I had to put into it. So setting reasonable expectations means that people then approach the work with a reasonable expectation of how much effort it's going to be, and how much energy it's going to be. We work hard. We have fun, but we work hard for the revenue that comes in. As a matter of fact, coming up next month, I'm really excited, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but we're going to be launching our webinar course again, Winning at Webinars. And we've been working on new content for this course for almost a year. And one of the things that I built is something that I'm calling Moneyball Webinars, which is looking at webinars for revenue, either as a sales webinar or charging for the webinar, but being realistic about how much money they can make and what works, and also understanding what the metrics are that make webinars successful, how you actually create value in the webinar so that you can convert them into money. And one of the things that we do is we've got a calculator that I've pulled all of my friends in social media and said, okay, when you do a webinar, what are the results in dollars and cents. Number of people registered, number of people that show up, number of people that purchase your product, how much money do you earn? And we've got a calculator where you can plug numbers in so you can see what, at least as far as our world goes, the industry averages. And it's nothing like what they're telling you in their sales webinars. It's nothing like what they're telling you. But it's a number that you can build a business out of and you can build a good future out of. So that's something that I'm really going to be looking forward to releasing. I know April knows that I've been fired up about this since last spring.
Yeah. I actually think when we were in Victoria, it was when you kind of started like printing it out.
Yeah, but I had to do so much research. I had to reach out to all my friends and say, hey, tell me, that webinar that you sold when you were selling your course, like how much did you sell? And I need exact numbers. Like how many people showed at the webinar? They're going, Steve, that's kind of personal information. I go, yeah, I know. Tell me. But most of them shared it with me. It was really great. So yeah, it's going to be a really good course. Or even not the course itself is going to be great. The run up to the course, when we talk about, we're going to be doing Webinar Palooza again, which we're going to go through all of the different webinar platforms, or 5 or 6 of them, in a webinar crawl where we go from one to the other. So we're excited about that. Then we're doing Moneyball webinars where we're releasing the calculator so that people can use the calculator and can discover how it works and can start to plug in the numbers to see how they perform against I consider to be the industry average, but themselves as well, so they can see, is this a business that I want to get into or invest more in? And then we've got the course itself coming out the back end of it. So it's going to be great. At least I think it is.
I think it is. Wait till you see it. It's very cool.
Worked hard on it. Liz worked hard on it too. She made the page really nice.
Let's see. People are just kind of, continuing that credibility in terms of marketing. And lots of people are unsubscribing from the over marketing in their email lists. Yeah.
It's a struggle. That's spam and oversending emails is a big issue. And it's one that I think legitimate marketers are guilty of, as well as the ones that are a little more smarmy and slimy. I think, how often do we send? We send now, probably not to the whole list, but we send at least 3 or 4 emails a week to our full list. And then we send some sub-list emails as well.
We only send 2 to the full list. And then everything is a sub-list.
Unless we're in a product launch. And then we send more.
And we do it on behavior. So,
but at the end of the day, sometimes, you make the decision, I'm going to send this email. I know it's going to piss some people off. But then here's the calculation that goes on in your mind. The people I'm pissing off, are they ever going to be customers? And they're probably not. And so you almost have to say, okay, I'm okay with making a few people upset with me by, maybe oversending, because at the end of the day, we still have to make a living. And if they were never going to be customers, it's nice to have them on the list, but there has to be a relationship at some point. We have to have an opportunity for a relationship at some point. So it's a challenge, and your community does a good job at telling you. I mean, we would notice if we ever had a mass unsubscribe from our list. We typically, what do we have? Every email we send out, we have 30 to 50 unsubscribes. Is that about right?
I think more so when we're doing a product launch than anything. So on a regular content, yeah. We
would notice like 150 or 200 people.
Yeah,
it would make you take a step back.
It's minimal, yeah. I mean, and that's the key, is that people do need to look at their analytics. So I love this. Dave just posted, I love Shazam, hear a song, find out name and song and artist. Love online banking. Yes, online banking. But I love this the most. Love the flashlight on my iPhone. I don't know about you, but I use that piece probably more than anything.
It's true. It's true. The flashlight app on your smartphone is just one of the most useful apps ever.
It is.
That's true.
I wonder if they knew that when they created it.
Yeah, I don't know if they knew it would be the most. Those fidget spinners.
I have 2 boys. Yes, I know them well.
So the BlackBerry Bold and the BlackBerry Curve before it, I think it was the Curve. They had a little bit of a curve back, and I could spin them, and you could spin them. If you got them spinning just right, they'd really spin well, but they would also wobble and stop. I wore out the plastic back of my Blackberries, spinning them as a fidget spinner.
So you were kind of the original inventor, but you didn't know.
I didn't know. I did not know.
See, you're so special. That's why we like you.
That's funny. I see there was a comment here, a question about Google Keep, about doing some more tutorials. In our new videos, a lot of you might have noticed on Monday we released a featured video again on Google Calendar. It's done really well. It's our new format. But we will be covering every week on Mondays, we're going to be releasing a new Google video. So we're going to be covering all of the different Google apps. So Google Keep will certainly be in the mix. So we're definitely going to get that there, Pat, for that question.
All right, let's see. Would like to see the idea of a virtual networking take off more. Yes, connecting in person. And what do you think about virtual networking?
Well, I mean, we all do it. I think it's part and parcel of the whole, you know, making the world smaller. It's fantastic. Absolutely. Oh, Carol's asking where we see the Monday videos. They are on YouTube. It's if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you should be. And you should also hit that notification bell so that you get notification of the new videos. But on our YouTube channel, we release them every week on our YouTube channel.
I just put a blog link in the chat.
Yeah. Good. So
let's see.
Help the lady find her earring stud in a darkened cinema with the iPhone flashlight.
See,
Dudley the hero. Dudley the hero. Well done.
Let's see. I don't like it when Mike is saying, I don't like it when manufacturers assume that we're all computer wizards. Make instructions clear and concise. Amen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Google's one of the worst of that. I mean, they're what I was talking about how they never seem to finish a piece of software and never give us the support. They are the worst. They are the worst. Did you see Apple has doubled down on their commitment to finishing and kind of making the software, all their software work properly? And they're kind of, I think they're sick of this criticism and they're trying to distance themselves from some of the other companies. And so Apple has actually added a whole different responsibility or a different level to where their software is going to be prior to release, which is music to many people in here's ears who had gone through automatic updates, which is another thing that I hate.
Well, and they never work. They never work.
And then they break things, and then you're scrambling. And they almost force you into it sometimes. They almost stealth mode you into it. Like you click on it, you say, no, I don't want to install now. And all of a sudden on my phone, it's like installing. I'm going, I never said yes. Right. I don't remember saying yes. I'm pretty sure you're just assuming that I said yes, and I didn't.
Well, and actually at the holidays, my daughter had her phone and it was frozen. Like it was constantly frozen. And I'm like, are you sure you didn't drop it? She's like, no. And I said, well, we can try to go get it cleaned. And sure, it was actually the update that was the problem. We had to go back and back it up. Mm-hmm. So she was getting in trouble over Apple's update.
Yep. Joyce, a Dottotech addiction is a healthy addiction.
Oh, we like that.
Yes. Is it safe to still use Google Docs? I thought they were going away. Nope. Google Docs were never going away. They just changed the name now to Google Drive. Again, Google being very obtuse and very confusing, but Google Docs will be here for the long haul. So it's safe to use them.
All right. I'm just kind of going through some of my comments down below. Hate Apple updates. We talked about that.
Judy's commenting about my plant. Are they called mother-in-law tongue? It's called a snake plant. Did you miss the Facebook feed? I asked the community what plants I should get, and they came out in force to help me decide on all of my foliage. It's a live one too. They're all live. They're all real plants. I'm bound and determined to keep them alive. It might be a challenge for me, but I am bound and determined.
Pat's asking if you know anyone or anyone on this call handles Gmail inbox organization.
Well, we have a little course for you on that, don't we? If you go to April, we'll drop that in. We've got Inbox Zero. It's called 3 Steps to Inbox Zero, how to organize your inbox and get organized. So try that. You have the skills yourself to organize your inbox, and we'll give you the tools through that mini course. I see Brian is also commenting. He's a Patreon subscriber. Where can you find the webinar library? Drop us a note, info@Dottotech. But it's basically if you go to the if you go to the Thinkific site, autotechu.thinkific.com, that's where you go to access it. But you need to get a code from us to get free access. So you can contact us through Patreon's chat or by email, and we'll get you in there, Brian. That's right. That is mother-in-law tongue here in Illinois. So that's what they call it. So yeah, there's so many names for all these plants. I thought it was called a snake plant. And I actually kept the label so that I could have I'm not going to move because I'm wired in, but so I could have the Latin name. One of our regulars always does the Latin name of all the plants that he sees in the background. Very impressive. Very impressive.
Nick
Janet
is asking.
Oh my God, I need that. I think she's talking about 3 steps to inbox zero.
All right. So, Steve, what headset are you using?
I've just got a cheap pair of earphones that I got on Amazon. I can look them up for you. But they were like $30, and they're designed to go behind your head. They're actually designed, I think, for athletes, for running. But they do stay out of the way. They're not very comfortable. I have to tell you, they're not comfortable for the long haul, but they do look good. And after all, he's better than to look good than to feel good.
All right. Nick is asking. You definitely had a little coffee there, guy. Steve, can you show your mic bracket? It looks really robust.
It's the one that's built for the Electro Voice RE20. You buy it from a Pro AV shop, and it's on a typical suspension arm, but it's an Electro Voice suspension bracket. It's got 4 little rubber bands here holding it.
New topic. What is the cycle that you use for Facebook, Twitter to advertise an old YouTube video for a topic?
Oh,
Thoughts?
Okay. Oh, that's good. Well, we have talked about that in the past. That's certainly, we talk about our social strategy. And I'm not sure, is that a webinar? I'm trying to remember if we did it in webinar Wednesday or not. But yeah, that would be a good topic. April, maybe you can make a note of that. That would be a fine one for us to add. But that's always a moving target because tools are changing. As a matter of fact, our good friends at Agora Pulse have just released a new version of Agora Pulse, their desktop version of their social media dashboard, that has a lot of features that were built into Edgar before, which allows you to create buckets for all of your posts. It's a really effective way to, if you're a content creator that has lots of similar content, to continuously promote that, especially into Twitter. Not so much Facebook, but for Twitter, it's perfect. Yeah.
This is a funny hate comment or dislike of me online. I hate it when someone says, "Okay, Google," in a webinar. It makes my home wake up and start talking.
I do that. I do that occasionally when I'm doing when I'm on stage speaking. I say, "Hey Siri," or whatever. Oh, there it is. Siri's just woken up. Go to bed. Go back to sleep, Siri. Just to drive people crazy. There was another question here about Patreon. Bettina, sorry. As a Patreon subscriber, where do you find all the videos in one place? Again, Bettina, just drop us a note in Patreon. And okay, sorry, I'm just getting a notification that I've run out of disk space on my notebook. And so I'm just going to. So this webinar is going to stop this recording right now, but I will figure out a way to pick it up elsewhere. The chat will stop. Okay, got it. We're fine. I've been recording so many webinars. You know what happens? I record the webinars on my notebook while I'm doing it, and we've been doing so much work that, yeah, you know what? I can hear your husband coughing. So I definitely think that you're on a different mic than your headset mic. April, that's something that we're going to want to test for next time.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sorry, everybody. I'm annoying Steve today.
You don't have to apologize. You're not annoying me.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's see. Did we have a webinar on Google Docs? I thought that was in the Google one we did last year. We did a whole Google suite, didn't we? Yeah,
and every week we will be doing new videos on Google Docs. On different Google tools. Every Monday. So that's going to be an ongoing thing that we will be supporting big time as we go along.
All right. And we are just about the top of the hour.
Good.
So
I got to go buy a Valentine's present, apparently.
Oh, you got the phone coming, so that's good. You should make a card. Just, you know what? I'll show you an easy trick. You can bend a piece of paper and cut out a little heart and make a card and say, Happy Valentine's Day, my love.
That's it. That's it.
It's the homemade cards that count.
That's it. Laura, I wish you could find more hours in the day to watch our webinars too. That's good. All right, folks. I think we're going to call it a day. Happy Valentine's Day to you all. April, I think you win the Valentine's sweepstakes going to Billy Joel. When is the concert?
Oh, it's in August, so it'll be nice and warm.
Good. Oh, Cynthia's asking, did you post a link to the YouTube channel? No. But you know what? Just go to YouTube and look Dottotech, and the channel is right there. We've got like 170,000 subscribers. It pops right up in search. So that's it. We're gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna go and buy some chocolate. See, if I buy chocolate, I'm gonna eat the chocolate. She's gonna share it with me, and I don't want to eat chocolate.
You don't have to do chocolate. You could do, I don't know. Just, you know what? As long as you get the card, you're covered.
I'm pretty sure broccoli wouldn't be a good Valentine's present.
No, not really. Well, no. What about a heart-shaped pizza, although that's carbs?
No, see, no, I'm not doing that. Not doing that.
Happy Valentine's Day, friends.
To you all. Till next time, join us next week. We're talking about Facebook. To all of our patrons, thank you so much. A happy Valentine's Day to one and all. Popcorn, that's not a bad idea, actually. Thank you very much for that. Till next time, have fun storming a castle.